Oh, so, you've decided to be a based goth. How can you do that?
This is Jake Monroe, a 35-year-old British YouTuber who's been around for a very long time on this platform. He's had over 10 years of creating men's fashion content, music, and he's done an upsetting amount of TikTok reacts. Recently, he has moved into the red pill manosphere space where his USP is appropriating the term goth. He now has his own slogan and merch line to go with it. Very recently, he has, I believe again, appropriated the title of alt-right.
Now I am alt-right. That much is obvious, you've seen my bio.
And although this whole thing is an act, he is actually trying to own the term alt-right and create a red pill goth movement. It's ridiculous, and when you find out he's in a serious long-term relationship with an OF model whilst preaching this red pill rhetoric, and a new main talking point for him is preaching an anti-LGBT message when he himself has talked in the past about being attracted to men and cross-dressing.
Anyway, it turns out that I might actually like dudes. So I was like, ooh, this is very interesting. I started looking at other people differently. I started looking at guys differently. I started looking at them objectively.
I wouldn't consider myself straight. I used to cross-dress.
It does make me question how anyone is stupid or desperate enough to accept this flamboyant man in corpse paint as a right-wing thought leader.
Now this might be obvious, but bigotry makes me unnecessarily angry.
So Jake Monroe, the alt-right nationalist that's now saying make goth great again. He started as a scene kid style channel for men that wanted to learn how to wear makeup and became obsessed with TikTok fashion content. His most recent song, I'm not going to play it, but it's on screen here. It's falling in reverse type shit. It's the most trend-based, vain, tasteless, wannabe commercial pop trash. He did a metalcore, I think, style cover of Corpse Husband's E-Girls Are Ruining My Life. He would not do this for creativity's sake, or to impress people in the goth scene. It's to impress the vapid, immature TikTok girls that he's so obsessed with. People are going to gatekeep in a scene such as goth, yeah, but this guy makes dubstep rap metal and wears E-Boy Quirkchungus corpse paint. This should be mocked and ridiculed. I get a lot of people won't care that much about this, but just know he wants to reject modern society and fix his subculture whilst only engaging in the most vapid and shallow parts of it. At the most basic level, make goth great again coming out of this man's mouth is a bastardization of the term. What he is really saying when he uses the term is alternative fashion trends. And these are going to be areas dominated by women with vaguely left-wing beliefs baked into them. If he were willing to venture into actual outsider niches, there is some type of variety of thought. Maybe this is a bit of a reach, but there's National Socialist black metal, there's neo-folk, and yeah, neo-folk and all those weird genres aren't exclusive in the way that NSBM is, and NSBM, is it really a genre? I don't know, but you get the point. There probably are some weird sects of underground goth that do promote fascism, but these people aren't going to be remixing Donald Trump slogans to sell merch. They aren't going to be looking at TikTok all day. They aren't going to have fucking Funko Pop collections. He seems to have this cattle form of tunnel vision where he couldn't even imagine that there might be something outside of the cage that his obsession with social media has trapped him in. And him moving into this red pill phase and his love for Andrew Tate.
It really comes off like you're trying to angle yourself to be the goth of the Rogan sphere. Well, I prefer goth Andrew Tate, but I'll take that.
These red pillars are the same vain, power-hungry celebrities, and he is still programmed by social media, just in a different, equally commercial stream to what he was once in. If you have brought into this make goth great again thing, you have lost. Stop doing anything on the internet. Turn on the TV, put on a reality show, eat your pre-made slop out of the microwave, and give up. I do want to acknowledge there were 2 videos that I watched in preparation for this that helped speed up my research a hell of a lot. There was this Danky Jabot video. It didn't help actually, it was really bad.
This shit is so cool, man. I fucking love goths. I think they're wicked. Yo, big up all the goths watching this channel, by the way. I'm sure you're great. Let's have a look at some of this red pill content then, shall we?
He may have slayed Lewis McClung in the women-coded commentary war of 2025, but unfortunately he is just terrible. And there's Riley Elena's video that was very good. Probably doesn't want the shout out, very different style to what I do, but probably should be acknowledged.
I got some new posters and I did a little bit of rearranging with some of the posters I already have. Let me know if you guys like it. Let me know if you hate it.
You see, I do know Monster and Paprika and Perfect Blue, and that mixed with all the cutesy shit does give off. I've got my pet hamster and ex-boyfriend buried in my garden. I'm kidding. It's a good video, okay? So, Jake Monroe. He started off just looking like your average British dork in their 20s, clinging on to what they thought was cool when they were 15, and there did seem to be some honesty to his channel as he would discuss his insecurities and his previous experiences with bullying.
I'm only 5'10", and I sincerely wish I was about 4 inches taller. In fact, I actually had some people make fun of me blatantly to my face. And I was so adamant of trying to make people like me that I wouldn't even be like, fuck you for making fun of me. I was like, okay, well, if that's what you want to say.
Bit tragic, someone being bullied at a young age and being so insecure. I do not buy into the early and often motto. If there was ever a case against it producing this man is one. But he did get into presenting himself in more extreme ways, and there does seem to be a correlation between his success and him doing so. He became super flamboyant, people likened him to Jeffree Star, something that I don't really know anything about. He'd do vlogs, he'd use the tag Goth, and he managed to successfully get a lot of traction on his channel doing TikTok React content. These are, at best, really embarrassing.
I'm sorry, is that one of the greatest recoveries in TikTok history? I think it might be. I was just like, oh, the phone's falling. Oh, shit, they saved it. Yeah. That was so awesome.
This is your alternative culture commentator. It pays the bills, I guess. Quickly, this is what this guy's face looked like, right? Here he is just drawn on a jawline and cheekbones. This is not mogging, this is just visible insecurity. This clip I thought was really crazy though.
So this is actually a different person in a public bathroom, in a toilet, in a school toilet, it looks like. Now I get it. Now I understand. These aren't public bathrooms in the streets. These are school bathrooms because Americans don't have to wear school uniform like we do over here in the UK. We're not allowed to wear our own clothes. We have to wear school uniform. It sucks so hard. And they're in between class. They're in class. And they went to one of the school bathrooms because very rarely would anyone come into the school bathroom.
He's so used to seeing school bathrooms because the content he's reacting to and the outfits that he's roasting are what children are wearing at school.
Bathroom again. Getting edgy in the school bathroom. Throwing the double bird at your camera. If you rip jeans on, it's a little on the nose.
He's a 32-year-old man, and he doesn't reflect on this and think it's weird. And he slowly gets more adversarial and talks about fighting with people online. And most of them are probably high schoolers. Oh, it's so hard to be a goth in the current era because I keep getting bullied by kids on TikTok. Anyway, he did the same format for a very long time with diminishing returns and then randomly released this video talking about relationship drama surrounding his breakup with another successful YouTuber. I had a feeling there was going to be something really bad here because he started covering Andrew Tate and doing the conservative grift after this, which is pretty much the biggest admission of guilt you can possibly put upon yourself, but it's not quite as bad as you would expect. Basically, he had very bad anger problems, he would punch holes in walls during their relationship, this led to huge bills from their landlord because he just wrecked the place, and he left his old YouTube girlfriend for an OF girlfriend. So he released this video. Look at him, oh I'm so damaged. I believe to try to control the narrative and scoop as many of his old girlfriend's viewers up into his channel as he could. Obviously you can't be using violence like that even if it's on inanimate objects whilst you're in a relationship with someone, but he mostly just come across as a insecure, egotistical asshole. So yeah, not a rapist or a pedo, and I'm happy to take the L because I had him pegged as at least one of those. So then he started moving into red pill content and dating an OF model. Now personally, I don't like the idea of dating someone that does that. Not for me, but I'm not going to get all puritanical and start judging people that date people in that area or work in that area. But for some reason, that's what Jake Monroe started doing.
From women sharing their sentiments with how women are presenting themselves on the internet and how that's been affecting them. The expectation that this has been creating, this has been providing certain types of men on the internet. The way you don't respect men who buy your OFs, the type of men that are corn addicted, the way these OF chicks look down on these types of men. Men also look down on the women that provide them with these kinds of services. Where's the immediate, easy access at a low, low price with a discount if I sign up now, where I can see your name? I need that. This is the expectation that's been cultivated. Oh, but men need to stop consuming it. Look, this is what we call responsibility. This is what I was saying before. Women want the power of men, but not the responsibility. It is your responsibility not to provide men with this.
The term grift gets overused, but this is the most clear-cut case. It gets even worse, but out of anyone I've looked into, this guy makes me feel like I'm going insane the most. For a while, I think he was just resentful that his breakup made him look like an asshole. Like, after he broke up with the goth girl, the videos he made were titled, "Goth chicks are manipulating you," "Goth girls are idiots," "You do not want a goth wife," "Not at all salty about the situation." He went on Tim Pool's show. Here he's not even listed as Jake Monroe, he's listed as Goth Daddy. He wasn't even on with Tim Pool as well, he was just on with a couple of his lackeys. I haven't bothered to watch much of this because it's fucking boring. But if you scroll to the comments, everyone's roasting him. Like, this is Tim Pool's audience that are smart enough to call this guy a poser. The side scrollers audience, however, are retarded enough to eat this shit up. Very disgraceful. Please, Blabs, leave these guys and we'll start a podcast together. And as for Jake Monroe, he's ramped up his rhetoric and now he has the Jake Monroe Show. So now he's filming in a big empty space, he's filming in widescreen, or he's smoking a cigar talking about far-right politics with a show named after himself.
They want you dead, your children aborted, your friends radicalized against you, and they think this is funny, to roughly paraphrase Sam Hyde.
And it's quite clear he really does want to be him. I guess that is a path for rejected men. Now, I'm saying this as someone that hasn't been impressed by the Sam Hyde show. This guy does not have it.
Testosterone linked to having more conservative values. Who would have thought that being less of a pussy would make you more based?
A lot of his shows are just statements like this, and the most irritating thing I find about it is he acts like he is so cool saying it. And it's the most embarrassing, shallow, like first time ever heard about pushing back on leftism, buzzword-loaded content, thinly patched together with these gay theatrics and self-aggrandizing, making like everything else he's done in his career, it reduced to just a practice of him stroking his own ego.
Very Orwellian, isn't it? It's very 1984. Which I suggest you read. Look, facts don't care about your feelings, okay?
Wow, I'd never thought that it might just be like 1984, and that facts don't care about your feelings. How'd you come up with this? This is groundbreaking stuff. People that are respected by the far right need to call this out. It is so pathetic.
You remember Vampire Freaks? MySpace? You should.
Oh yeah, Vampire Freaks. You remember Vampire Freaks very well, don't you, Jake?
So I was like, ooh, this is very interesting. I started looking at other people differently. I started looking at guys differently. I started looking at them objectively. Yes, the person who had been catfishing me this whole time was using the photos from someone that Kaya knew on Vampire Freaks, and it was a completely different... And it was at that point I realized that I had been catfished from the very beginning. I have no idea who it was I was talking to.
He's getting catfished by guys on emo message boards. As we showed at the beginning, he was a cross-dresser as well, so I think he has this deep seething hatred just because he got rejected by that community as well. So now it's like Jake Monroe and Hugh Anthony go to a bar after the White Pride demonstration and leave together very shortly to go shag. Nah, this is serious stuff, okay?
They want to make sure they're in control of the narrative in as many subcultures as humanly possible. They want to control you, they want to control me, and they want to control the way you talk and the way you think and stuff that you say.
Who could the alt-right YouTuber be speaking about when they just say they? Well, maybe we've been too harsh on Jake Monroe because he's got it figured out and he's actually willing to say it.
And liberal white women will throw their entire culture under the bus if it means they can make this happen. So it's no surprise then that the reason why Goth is entirely destroyed is because it's mainly taken over now by liberal white women. It's like clockwork. Everywhere liberal white women go is a trail of chaos and destruction, which is why I'm highly critical of these self-righteous, sanctimonious, liberal white women.
It's white women. It's liberal white women. That's actually the root cause of everything. Israel-Palestine?
Israel-Palestine. I don't fucking care, okay? I don't care. It has nothing to do with Europe. Look what's happened when these women took it upon themselves to represent and spread this fucking shit.
Nothing to do with what Britain did or what Germany did. Who's to blame? Oh, it's these fucking women.
Women?
So now he is claiming to be openly alt-right.
Now, I am alt-right. That much is obvious. You've seen my bio.
Oh, you've seen my bio, have you? Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm trans now. Have you seen my bio? Oh, well, have you seen my bio? I'm alt-right now. Despite this guy wanting to be a red pill Andrew Tate character, a lot of his actions do reflect one of a teenage girl's. So he talks about being alt-right in this video, debunking the alt-right pipeline. The opening premise for this is he basically talks about why everyone's alt-right these days, which no one is. No one's been using the term for ages. But the reason everyone's alt-right is because of these liberal lefty women.
This right here should show you exactly who made the alt-right pipeline. Leftists did. You see, if leftism wasn't this prickly, nasty, toxic environment of authoritarianism under a matriarchal dictatorship, then there would be no need. There would be no construction of something like an alt-right pipeline. There would not be this necessity for an escape from it.
The reason the alt-right exists is because of authoritarian matriarchal dictatorships. Actually, the liberal women are the real fascists.
See, this is the thing that fucking bothers me about the left currently. They were calling the other side fascist. I'm like, look, when was the last time you looked up the definition of fascist? Because I think you'll find that you fit that description far closer than anyone else currently.
Like all the old people when the alt-right was a thing, the people from the Charlottesville rally, they were openly trying to promote fascism. Actually, liberal women, you're the real fascists. Do you know what the alt-right's actually about? It's about not liking women. The 14 words? Nah, that was a bit of a mistake. We need to watch liberal white women make fools out of themselves on the Side Scrollers podcast with Stuttering Craig and a VTuber that's probably this is Craig's side profile, by the way, if you're interested in that. Can Mewing save him? I'm not sure. So he's got an audience that are going to be predominantly white men that he's saying we need to take the power back and stop talking to women and then stop reproducing. Now that's really smart. A closeted homosexual man in corpse paint obsessed with his own vanity has just saved the white race. He also loves Tommy Robinstein, so, you know, he's a huge fucking sellout. Obviously, Side Scrollers will have him on because they are pure grifters, but I just beg to see him get rejected from right-wing spaces. Because he is a reject, and that must have done some damage to him, right? Imagine him showing up somewhere, he's trying to mingle, and the people he's talking to are like, oh, you're that guy that makes dubstep rap metal like Falling in Reverse, and you watch children dress up as goths on TikTok all day. When you leave the conversation, and you can hear everyone turning and laughing to each other, it's not because they're elitist leftists, it's because you're a joke. And I said to give up earlier, and if you're over 30, give up, you're done. Go buy a bigger TV. But I don't know, I think some people should try going out. If there's a cool band, go out to a show. There's going to be a lot of commie losers there, but there are probably going to be some cool people too that are just pretty normal. So give it a go, because I can't imagine anything more bleak than spending the rest of your life sat inside watching Jake Monroe and Side Scrollers.